Christ. Welcome back to Commission Reviews. This is something new that I am doing. Love and Marriage, Huntsville. My girl's been doing it for years. I hear about it through Mod, Afro Mama, and everybody else. We're gonna go ahead and review it. Regardless of who she likes or don't like, I'm gonna like who I like. Doesn't matter. Which I wonder who am I gonna end up liking and hating. I really wonder. I don't know yet. So we got the. What'd you say? What'd you say?
It's gonna be interesting, is what I said. It's gonna be interesting.
Oh, yeah, I could guess from me. I don't know. So we got Mod, we got exactly Erica, we got Lee with the T's in the building, we got Mod Afro Mama, the undisputed African Queen. Okay, so I my recap Junior over here to give you the recap of the episode. And y'all should know who the mama is. If you don't know, I'm not gonna tell you where you been at. Go ahead, Lee. How you doing?
Okay, so this is basically, everybody ain't seen each other since LA. I guess that's when they did that's where they did the reunion. What's the girl's name? Is it Stormy?
Mm-hmm.
Stormy want to have another kid. Her husband don't want to have another kid. Oh, this ain't in chronological order either. Martell dating what's her name? Joggers, spring collection.
Right.
And meanwhile, trying to figure out if he want to be back with his wife, or they kept asking about this prayer during this episode. I don't understand.
Yeah,
it seems to be about around the holidays because they had Christmas trees up and shit.
And it goes very left for them. But go ahead.
Then Kimmy basically is out of phase one of breast cancer, I'm assuming, because everybody had on pink at the party. Mel throws a party for her at ghetto version of Top Golf, and that's basically the episode.
You did not talk about Tisha. What about Tisha?
Oh shoot, I forgot about her.
They didn't really show her that much.
No, they didn't. But she shows up. She shows up to the pink party in red. Very ghetto.
Oh, Lord Jesus, yeah. Lord Jesus. One thing I will say is that Mark, who was she? Sheree? How she by Sheree, whatever. Their relationship to me is just awkward and odd to me. It didn't look natural to me. And it's my first time watching it. I just didn't think they looked natural together. Melanie, I actually liked her immediately. Her voice is very high, but I liked her immediately. And
oh my gosh,
I love the part when she was talking about the whole thing with the prayer. I don't understand. I would have told him, I would have said, let me tell you something. I told you about prayer because you get on my nerves. I'm going to pray that you go away. Okay? Goodbye. We're not together. Stop it.
Just for a little bit of history, Sheree and Martell, they don't look natural, but there's so many reasons why they could not look natural. It could be that it's awkward for him to be stepping out with his side chick in the background.
He ain't had no problem doing it the other seasons.
No. He has a whole child, a brand new baby that just turned like 2. He has a whole situation, and that situation in all this time that we're seeing, she was telling the world that his relationship with Sheree was only built for TV.
Oh, okay.
So that could be why they look bad. What I will say is they're a good-looking couple, right? They look good on paper. If you were just to see the picture, he's a good-looking man. She's a good-looking woman. But whatever happens after that,
okay.
I feel like. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Matt.
No, I thought that Melody and Mateo they really look good, way more than Sheree and him.
Absolutely.
Yes, I agree with that. I don't.
They've also known each other since they were really young, and sometimes when you're around someone for such a long time, even people and their pets start looking alike. So,
true.
Right.
And I get that.
I wonder why Kamisha said that she liked Mel right away. Like, what is it?
Why wouldn't she?
You know what? You know why I said that shit? Because I knew your ass was gonna say something. Let me tell you something, Mod. I ain't got to watch this show for no full year or nothing. Girl, don't start that with me. I don't care who you like. I would not like them because you like them. Don't play with me.
Let's start here, Mod. Let's start here. I think this will go best if we take a detached perspective on all personalities involved.
Right.
So that
I
we
agree.
can give an unbiased review
Yes.
of what's transpired.
Yes.
Now, looking at Melody from the way they presented her in the show, there's not much to not like because she has shown up as a businesswoman, pretty as hell, hair done, makeup done, fits to the god. Like, there's nothing to not like. So I think that Kamisha's going to have to be in a little bit longer to determine if she likes the disposition or not.
And you know, I will tell you if I don't. I mean, I know that. Just
yeah, but it's. I'll try, but it's just difficult because I've watched the show from the beginning, from the first season.
Okay, but
I'm
not an idiot. It's not like it'll take me forever to figure that out, girl. If something is I don't like, you know, I'm gonna say something. I just said,
I know.
Watching. I said I like it. I mean, look, I know. Look, okay, I'm gonna say this. I can tell by her. This is me getting my opinion for the first time watching the episode. I can tell by how she speaks. Like, she's a little bit on the snooty side. She's also got a lot of shade. Everything she says is shade. I'm not oblivious to that. You can see everything she says is literally shade to somebody. Like, the girls were dragging her, and like when she called them was like, no, when she called them was like, I had other calls to do. I was like, damn. I ain't gonna lie. I would have done that. I've done that before.
So,
I was calls. Goodbye. So she does nice nasty. I love nice nasty because I do nice nasty. But again, give me time. Now, what's the one that had cancer?
Kimmy.
I did like watching her scenes. It touched me. It was very real because you could tell she was sick. You could just tell by how she looked that she was going through stuff. And I even liked how her husband was like, he was being annoying, but I get it. He's so worried about her. He's the one who's stressing herself out. He don't want any of that. And I just, I liked it.
One of the things about cancer is I think he felt like it is too soon to celebrate, right? We don't know. There's so many unknowns for us to start, thinking that there's a celebration over here. And I think that's where he was coming from, that perspective. Like he's concerned, like, come on now, let's chill. Let's give it some time. Let's see how things go. You know what I mean? Because, sorry?
At the same time, there's two ways to look at this. There's the lack perspective where you're looking at it like it's too soon to celebrate. And then there's the willing what you want into existence and celebrating your small wins on the way to your big wins. Now, I think what he wanted to do was be in control of how much stress she took on in her life because he didn't want her to be stressed. And the funny thing about this is he is not in control of anything else that's going on here. All he can do is sit back and support. But this he could control. So when he says, you're not planning a party, that's exactly what he meant. And he has his reasons. I don't want you stressed. I don't want you he didn't even want her to call people because he didn't want her to have to explain to people, I'm inviting everybody and I don't care how you feel about it. He wanted her, if she was going to do anything, he wanted her to sit back and bask in the event. In the end, he got to the point where he was like, I realized you needed that.
To celebrate and have a good time. I agree with that. But look, check this out. So what is the name of the oh my God. The one Sports Stormy. She wants to have a baby. Her accent is so country. She wants to have a baby, right? So
her house is beautiful. My gosh.
It is beautiful. But the husband's saying no. Now, I want to know the backstory with them because I'm trying to figure out she wants to have a kid and he does not. Now, with that being said,
she almost died having the first child.
I heard the mom say that. And so I actually understand that's the reason why he's saying it. But then he says the reason why because she almost died. He don't want her to have no kid, or is that the only reason why?
He's not saying much, and you haven't missed much with Stormy because this is going to be Stormy's debut breakout season where there's more of her story displayed. I think she was a friend of the show before. Now she's going to have more airtime. as it relates to the way I think he is a typical Black man, and he's a Southern Black man. So she was trying to get emotions out of him, and he wasn't finna do that on camera.
Oh wow!
He told her what he needed to tell her. We heard him. He said, "I don't want any more children." Because, and mind you, she let her mother know that in the past she didn't want any more children because of how traumatic the process of having this child was. So I think he was on, when we hear him say children, he's surprised because up until that point they had agreed ain't no more children. So now she's saying she wants more children, and he's surprised, and he's letting her know ain't gonna be no more children. He did say, after you lost so much blood. He didn't say you almost died. He said you lost so much blood the first time. And then, because I imagine it had the potential to go deep into emotion, and he has yet to do that on the camera. He showed up briefly in various areas because I don't think he was finna do that with her. So he was like, yo, ain't no more children. You should check on them pork chops.
Okay, so all this is everybody on this show literally over 40 plus? I want to say over 35. I guess.
Yeah.
Mel is the youngest one. She just turned 37.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay, and then her babies.
I thought they're age mates with Tisha. No.
No, Tisha's older than Mel too.
So Stormy, is she younger?
I don't believe Stormy's younger either.
She seems younger mentally.
Yeah, she does.
I thought she was a kid, and no, that's too hard.
I think she's smaller.
No, not because of the size, because her demeanor, how she carried herself.
How old is she? You can check. How old is she? Yeah, she looks. Maybe she's younger than Mel.
Because the way she.
Yeah, from what I see, it says she's 33. So I think she's
younger. She is younger
than Mel then.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to know the difference in the shift. Now, what happened with Melanie and is it Tisha?
Oh my gosh!
There's a lot that has happened with
Melanie.
my
gosh!
I think we should take two perspectives on it: the mod perspective.
Oh, the delusional perspective.
I need two perspectives. Somebody tell me. I need to know what happened.
I'll let Mod go first.
Calm down, say it calmly, please.
Lee, did you ever watch it before this, or this is the first time watching it?
No, I've seen other. I mean, I didn't watch it faithfully, but I've seen other episodes.
Mod, give them the Leticia and Mel perspective.
Well,
not the delusional version.
Not the K Crusader version.
Listen, so Tisha, when Tisha was introduced to her, she was a stay-home mom.
Okay.
She went to Mel, asked Mel, you do it so well. Are you a mother and you're still, a business lady? Like they were running a company with her husband, and Mel told her, what to do, and all that. And she started like moving away from being a stay-home mom and, moved into, working with the husband. Then there were allegations that the husband has cheated. In fact, one of the allegations was Melody's hair and makeup. I think the lady that was doing her hair and makeup slept with Tisha's husband, and she
Martel's cousin.
Oh, Martel, no,
she's Martel's cousin.
Oh, okay. So they did a live. That is when it started. Their friendship started. Having problems. So they did a live with this woman, and the woman denied that there was nothing like this. So Tisha has carried that because Melody, and around that time, Melody's husband also was cheating. And so Melody decided, what? She's gonna end her marriage. Tisha, on the other hand, stuck with her man. And I feel like Melody wanted Tisha to do exactly what she did, and because Tisha did not do that, they started having problems, between their relationship. And listen to me, if you're gonna come here introducing people, and in fact, she was inviting this girl to come to the party, to come to the show, to go to their trips, just so to start causing drama. Yes.
Okay. So that's one perspective.
Okay.
Wait, give me
my
another.
perspective on what
And then,
transpired.
I'm not done. Let me finish.
Now you
One
know
more,
she's
one
not
more thing.
finished.
Lord, please.
And I'm
I
sure
see.
exactly Erica believes, and exactly Erica is on my side on this.
I
Okay.
did my
So I'm
side.
gonna ask,
Oh Lord.
I'm not doing the my side
and
thing.
then guess what? Melody invites Tisha's cousin to the show and ask Tisha's cousin, do you think your cousin's husband ever cheated? Have they ever had those conversations? And you have to remember, the cousin was invited to the show. Were very good friends with Tisha. Grew up together. Their age mates. That's the girl who is called Kiki.
Okay.
You're gonna see her on the show.
Okay.
She came over there. Melody, every season she has brought in somebody. The person that she's gonna bring, gonna do her dirty work, and then if they stop doing the dirty work, they are no longer friends. That's how Stormy was introduced to us. So Stormy
Okay,
was introduced to us by Melody. She started doing her dirty work, and then Stormy realized, I'm not doing your dirty work anymore. They fell out. They are no longer friends. That's what's going to happen.
I didn't ask for a
And I'm
soliloquy.
tired of
Ma,
that
She asked one question. What happened?
Hold on. I did not ask for the entire season. I asked for a quick synopsis. Oh my God.
Okay,
I told you it was gonna be the delusional version. Anyways, moving
okay,
along.
so what happened? What
Ask
happened?
Erica, don't you agree?
Wait a minute. She didn't ask what happened.
Hold on, wait, hold on, wait, everybody. I want to hear your version. I want to hear Goodies, and we're gonna hear Lee. Let's go, Goodies.
So
I mean,
the show starts out.
Everybody.
The show starts because Melody and Martell pitched the show to Carlos King, and they pitched themselves as this couple who knows other couples, and they're doing these great, amazing things in Huntsville, Alabama.
Mhm.
When the show starts, Melody was leaving her husband because it was revealed that he was cheating again, because she knew he was cheating, but she thought he had left the woman alone. During that time, Tisha does go to Melody and says, hey, you and Martell seem to be the perfect package. I love how you navigate the terrain of being a mother and getting work done. Tisha's very smart. Tisha has a master's. But she was a stay-at-home mom, and she wanted to know a few things from Mel. How were you able to balance motherhood? And how are you able to be in a marriage where your husband respects you enough to have balanced motherhood and be outside of the home? Melody says, I can show you how to do this as a blueprint. It is then revealed to everyone, because Melody was like, I'm not going to do the show and lie, that Martell was cheating. When it was revealed to everyone that Martell was cheating, Tisha started talking about, they said that they the blueprint, but Martell is cheating. I thought they had it all together, but Martell is cheating.
Okay.
Fine, that happens. But trying to be a supportive friend, Tisha invites them because they decided they were going to work on their marriage. Tisha does an anniversary party for them. And while they're at the anniversary party, Tisha starts asking questions about the cheating. Wrong time, wrong place. Melody's getting frustrated because it's like, yo, you're supposed to at least support me or shut up about it.
Oh my
You're not supposed to be running behind my back talking about it. But since we're talking about it, I suggest you check and see what your husband's doing, because Tisha's running around talking about it. Melody here, she's talking about it. Melody's like, yo, I suggest you go check and see what your husband's doing when you're in the house and he won't let you out and he's at the bar at night. This is a meal they're having because Melody's like, she gets reclusive. Melody's a Scorpion or a Scorpio. She's a water sign. When they get emotional, they usually, they get reclusive. While they're having this discussion, Tisha's like, well, your man brought his side chick the same BMW that he has. And Melody was like, oh, okay, why don't you go check and see what's going on with your man down to the thing? And Tisha's like, my man ain't never cheat. And Melody's like, are you sure about that? Tisha
It got messy.
that to mean that Melody was trying to ruin her marriage. Melody was like, I'm not trying to ruin your marriage. I'm trying to put you onto game so that you know what's going on down the street. But and Melody does admit there was a bit of pettiness involved in it, because now you're coming at me. I'm in a sensitive space. You are coming at me. and I'm coming right back at you. Now, from the Leticia perspective, how you running around here acting like you perfect when your whole marriage is falling apart. From the Mel perspective, I'm still a mother outside the home, and my husband still was respecting me while I was outside the home.
Y'all be in the chat going hard. Look, I didn't see y'all in the chat. How y'all doing here, everybody? Sabrina Clark, everybody, happy Easter. Talk with Slana. You said y'all should watch the show for yourself, build your own opinions. That's literally what we did, sweetie. They're talking to me about it because I have 20 pounds of different shows that I review. I have not watched the show from the beginning, so I was asking a few questions. They were filling me in a bit. I did watch the episode. I'm going to watch the season and give my opinion, but I like to hear the background. I'm not going back to episode 1 to come back to no. I'm not.
You will probably end up going back to episode 1, Kamisha, because it, as Slana says, it does get. It's very interesting. It's a very interesting study on human behavior, human interaction, and it does get messy. And they're very relatable.
I might go back and watch episode 1 and just binge it. I might do that, actually.
If you watch one, you'll watch the rest, because what ends up happening is you get to really watch relationship between people and how it you know, how it dissolves, how it evolves. Yes, Phil, Mel was asking about cheating in every group meeting because she was mad at her husband.
Yeah, it wasn't Tisha who brought it up. She is the one who was asking about the cheating.
She did. No, Tisha was the one who brought it up first in the if you recall, they were in the limousine on the way to the dinner, and Tisha brought it up.
Well, she had no business bringing it up to begin with. At wrong place, wrong time. So at that point in time, when you start poking the bear, when the bear bites you, now you can't be mad.
Yep, that's true. That's very true. And see, the thing about it, when you're in these settings, in these environments, why do people, just like with Natasha them, why would you bring that up? I don't understand people just bring information up that doesn't have anything to do with what's going on in front of them. They kill me with that shit. Like, what was the purpose of her doing that? I don't get it.
I think
what was the purpose of Melody bringing in her cousin, claiming that, you know?
So with regard to the cousin mod, the reason why Melody did bring the cousin to the forefront was Tisha was running around for seasons saying, you're lying about my marriage and you're trying to ruin my marriage. And what Melody was saying, wait, and on top of that, it's not true. And Kiki was brought to the forefront for a couple of reasons. The first reason is that Tisha and her husband slandered the cousin in an effort to make sure the cousin didn't end up on the show. That's one. Two,
wow. Melody, but was it slander? Because it was actually true, right? So it wasn't slander.
So basically, her cousin.
It wasn't slander.
Her cousin. If it's true, then it's not slander.
Yes.
You want to know what the slander was? The slander wasn't the truth. So Kamisha, just bring you up to speed. Her cousin had a pill addiction, was addicted to prescription medication. That's the truth. The slander comes in when you say, if you're going to invite her to your home, you better lock your medicine cabinet because she has a problem with pills. That's the slander.
But it was not said on camera.
But
and
that's
but she did have a pill addiction, right? Is that what
she had a pill addiction, but if you don't know me to be stealing pills from anyone, you're slandering.
I don't know.
If you not know me well, if you're saying to lock your cabinets because she's an addict, that's not, and she is an addict.
No, you're saying to lock.
You are saying.
If I tell you, we have addicts all around us. We have people addicted to alcohol. And we don't tell them. And when you invite people who you know drink a lot over your house, you don't be like, yo, lock up your liquor cabinet.
Well, I'm not going to speak on alcoholics per se, because I know a lot of alcoholics too that don't steal or whatever. But I also know addicts who are addicted to things stronger than alcohol that do.
Well,
that do
Kiki's
I can't speak on alcoholics, but I know other drug addicts do steal.
Kiki's point was, you've never known me to steal anything from anyone. So what was that? And why would you, my close cousin, bring that to these people when you?
Well, why would the close cousin talk about her cousin's marriage issues? Why would she do that? I'm just saying,
because you opened the gate when you came for me with strangers. You opened the gate for me to do.
It was not said on camera.
I'm not saying it's right.
It was not said on camera.
Yeah, hold on. Wait. Hold on. Now, let's go back to the episode because now it's 1-1.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back to the actual episode that I did Watch. Now we was talking about her and her cancer. And I said she was really weak. I let her husband supported her. But I did ask y'all why was she beefing because just and the whole thing I didn't like about I won't say I don't like. Stormy said they hadn't spoken since the beginning. Okay, I do understand that people do flake on you. It is what it is. But she felt like it was fake because she was talking to her. So do y'all thought it was fake or was it just business or what do y'all think? Who's lying?
So the history on the Stormy thing is that people were saying to Stormy, Mel only has you here to do her dirty work, and she's gonna
And to
turn
use
her
her
back
for company for her product. Remember, she has a business.
but she didn't use her for that. She okay, we're not gonna go there. She was saying people were saying she's going to screw you over the way that she screwed everybody else over. Every season, Melody has told everyone these seasons are heavy. When we log off, I'm logging off. I'm dialing down.
Okay.
Last reunion, Tisha told everyone that Melody was the devil incarnated. She had a dark soul and she was evil.
She is.
Stormy said, that's Mod, we can't do that to anybody. We do not know her well enough to say she's evil.
We have seen her for many seasons.
Let's dial back. So to take a step back, and during the reunion, Stormy was like, she has a close relationship with them. We are not close friends like that. So she and I haven't had a problem. This season, Melody did the same thing she does every season, and she unplugged from everybody. And Stormy tried to call her and could not get through to her. And Stormy was like, oh, wow, we're not speaking. There's an issue, which is the same issue everyone has with Melody, even though she has said the same thing every single year. I unplug. I don't deal with anyone, not even production. This is what she says. Stormy's upset that she hasn't heard from Mel. So when Mel speaks to her, she thinks, hey, that's fake. Because how you going to be fake and speak to me when I haven't spoken to you in 4 months?
Wow. I think I'm gonna binge it tonight, and I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna probably end up doing a recap on the old show. I think I'm gonna binge it. I think I am. All I have is an interview today. That I don't really have anything. I think I'm gonna binge it tonight because I just want to lead up to the cheating and all the stuff. And then it put a big old fight this year on something that happened like on this.
That was last year.
It was last, so they actually had a fight where somebody put their hands on each other.
It was Tisha's mother and Melody going at it.
Oh no, ma'am! It's the two men. It's the fight that everybody was talking about last year. They got leaked.
When Tisha's mother and Melody went at it, Martell and Tisha's husband started going at it.
Okay, there we go. Wow.
Yeah,
and
you see,
cool?
it gets real.
And they're cool now. The guys.
Oh yeah, they're fine. Yeah, they're Gucci.
Oh, Kate Spade is having a sale.
Her man be handling that pretty trip. Okay. So, but this show, do y'all feel that they're more uppitier than the other series?
No.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you say that question again, Kamisha? I didn't hear you. Are they more what than the other series?
Uppity.
Oh, well, in my opinion, I think I started like halfway through. So, like, what season is this? Is this season
6?
6? I think I started like season 3. So let me know if you do end up binging it, Kamisha, because I was kind of like, I'm not going all the way back, and I still feel that way. But the seasons I watched were super good, so I'm like, I think I get it. So, but I will say this: to me, I feel like Melody has grown even in the seasons that I've watched. So she does have sort of like this uppity air. I think more so than some of the other cast members. The only issue I think I had with Melody in this episode is this whole, because you all know how I am, this whole, you're not going to see who I'm dating. Like, nah, sis. Like, maybe Martell don't need to see, but I need to see. Like, you know what I'm saying? I need a clip on Instagram. I need something. Because I'm not going to watch you, you know, because she's sort of like, oh, to me, she's almost acting like I'm above the show.
But
and it's like,
Erica, you see what Martell did when he thought she was dating the councilman?
Right. Like I get you may not want Martell to know who you with. I get all of that.
As soon as you show us, you know he gonna see it.
Right. So I'm like, oh, whatever. you're on reality TV, boo.
Mhm.
So I don't want another season of people with these mystery mates. Like, I'm not going to keep doing this with everyone. In terms of Sheree and Martell, they're giving me very much, oh, you'll like this one, Kamisha. They're giving me very much an alliance. Like Blake and Susie, like so many other people that Sheree has dated over the years, like some of people Kenya has dated over the years. Like, we agree contractually, we look good together, and this might give both of our TV shows more exposure. So it'll be interesting to see her calling him on Real Housewives of Atlanta from Portugal or wherever they are. So that's kind of what it's giving to me. Like, we're kind of cute. Maybe we smash on occasion, and this is a good look for our show. So that part I like, or I don't like it, but I think that's how it doesn't seem authentic, but it seems like an interesting agreement. Kimmy, Stormy seems the most down to earth, but I think that's because she's newer than the other people. And I like her little country accent. I think it's cute. I think it seems more like real. And so so I kind of am liking her. But I think Melody has some good points too, because it's kind of like, okay, you know, and I think Ashley actually tweeted about this, about how, okay, people only speak when they're filming or whatever. So I think she tweeted that out last night. Like, okay, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So we friends when we filming. And that's how Melody has been getting down for the, you know, at least most of the seasons I've been watching. So it's like, yeah, she don't talk to you off season because y'all not really real friends. So yeah, so that's the only thing I have with Melody. Like, I get it. You know, I like some of her nice nasty too, Kamisha, but I'm like, yeah, sweetie, we gonna need to see who you're dating, especially if you're not praying to get back with Martell at 10 p.m. So we need to see what you're doing, girl. So yeah, that's it for me.
Do I think that this show is more uppity than the other installment? I'm a New Yorker through and through, native New Yorker, right? Of West Indian descent. I think, but I have a lot of friends from the South. And I think what we are seeing in DC is people who are not as far down the Mason-Dixon line as Alabama, Huntsville, because what I think we're seeing is there's a culture in the South of being nice, nasty, right? The sweet tea. There's a culture in the South of being rooted in God. There's a culture in the South of ladies maintaining a very ladylike disposition. And I think that that's what we see when we go to Huntsville and we see Melody, because she was raised by a mother who was not suffering financially, right? So she was likely raised to have the etiquette. She was raised to look a certain way, to be a certain way, social respectability. Meanwhile, in DC, I think, I could get to DC in a few hours, right? Too. There's this combination of being able to be like, oh, nah, we not doing that. Oh, nah, we not doing that either. And still have that Southern respectability. That I think what we're seeing is more Southern, quote unquote, hospitality, for lack of a better term, when we go further to Huntsville. Nobody has an answer to the question. Am I wrong? Because again, I'm a New Yorker.
I didn't get. What was the question?
The question was
about them being uppity, and I was like, I see it in Melody, but everybody else kind of seems sort of not to me.
But you know what the difference between Melody and everybody else is? I think her mom was a little bit middle class and put her in this and put her in that. I wouldn't be surprised to find out if she had an application out there for Jack and Jill or whatever. Right?
Yeah, but I also think that Melody has changed over the seasons, like with Housewives, where like they come out and then they get, like her look is looking back, like how you get better each season or whatever. So it just seems like she's sort of elevated a lot quicker than some of the others.
Right. And then when you have a better look and you have that respectability route, you're not going to try to show everybody as much of you're nasty, but now you have more, and there might be a little more nasty. There's more shade for sure. We're seeing more shade, but She was also married to a man who, if she was going to turn up, he'd be like, "Be quiet, shut up, hush, don't say that." She's not married to him anymore.
Mm.
All right, Alicia, what are your thoughts?
Okay.
I mean, overall on the episode. You haven't said too much
me
either
up
way.
after you wake me up after you finish singing praises for Melody. Once you're done with
I don't
singing
think there were praises.
I'll be here already.
What are the praises?
Yeah, like, okay, so here's my thing. I'm in the middle because I feel like Melody's not innocent and Tisha's not innocent either. And I think what is interesting, Kamisha, which you will see depending on however far back you go, is that Marceau, there's every season, maybe this will be the season that he's actually outed. Every season there's all these rumors about him cheating. And I presume he probably is, but he's never quite like, we ain't got no footage and we ain't got no, side chick on Instagram like Martell has.
We have him saying, "Nah, I don't cheat."
We have him saying, "Catch me if you can." So, so every season, like, I'm kind of over it. Like, if he has a mystery baby, let me see the baby. I don't want to continue talking about this every season, but that's kind of the thing that's always in the background. So maybe, I think I was like, Melody, who cares? If Tisha's happy in her marriage, if she like it, we love it. Like, So I think neither person is innocent. So
right. And maybe Kamisha does not need to go back to watch season 1 just so we can have somebody who really does not, a new person have not watched previous, and then she will have a balanced
I think
approach to it,
opinion is
so that
balanced.
Because I feel like people who started watching season 1 and they saw Melody being cheated on and they sympathize with Melody, they have carried that on. Like, Melody can never do that because she was cheated on. Yeah,
I don't live in a world where I think adults need to be innocent, because by virtue of being adults, we have all gotten our hands dirty. So I don't think that Melody's innocent. I don't think any of us are innocent, nor do I think we have to be or need to be. I actually think sometimes when you get your hands dirty, there's a growth that comes from that more than someone who doesn't have the experience of filth under their fingers.
Mm.
I think I do my best to have an unbiased approach to it, whereby
this is very biased. If you ask
not
me.
Really, because I think Tisha does.
Okay, you guys, let's get back to the episode.
Let's
go back to the episode. Kamisha, don't go back to the season 1. Just start with this season, current season, and just carry on from there. Because when you start going back, it's not going to do you any good. I think we've given you just a brief up to date about all the friendships and situation. Just carry on from here on, just so.
Because I think part of it is, to me, it's like, okay, you guys, let's not continue to carry all of this stuff from a million seasons ago. So we got to stay in the moment for everybody. Like, everybody just act better. So now what is interesting about this season is we see Stormy's mother. So hopefully her mother is not going to be like Wanda, which is Tisha's mother, is always causing a lot of commotions. So all the mamas, because we even see Martell's mama in this episode putting her 2 cents. So the mamas kind of, depending on whose mother it is, they put in they have their own little dramas. So that's kind of an interesting aspect of the show that you don't get on other reality shows, because the mamas are like, we're not going to be down south and not throwing down for our children. So that's interesting. Right. And then the kids kind of have to rein the mothers in, especially with social media. So it's interesting to see Stormy's mother also in this episode. So what did you guys think about Stormy's mom being like, I said what I said? Like, is she going to be Wanda Light or what? What do you guys think?
Oh, they are besties. They are friends. I've seen them do a live together on IG. They only have one thing in common. They are all coming for Melody, whether it's because what they're discussing about is something that Mom posted, I guess, on social media, I think, or on IG. So we'll see. I was happy to see her. It's something new. We did not have her last season, so I'm excited to see the moms too, what they bring. I just don't want it to be ganged against another gang towards Melody, that because you're gonna give people ammunitions to speak on this. You know what I mean?
I think what Betty Steele does right is when she's talking to her daughter about her relationship, because Stormy's telling her mom, Courtney don't want any more children, and I don't like the way he shut down, and I don't like this. And the mom was like, well, your pregnancy was traumatic, and he's a man, and he might not be ready to get into his feelings. I mean, they're not breaking the third wall and saying, the fourth wall. They're not breaking that wall and saying he doesn't want to show the camera his emotions, but her mother gave her the right perspective as it relates to her marriage, which I think is where I think maternal mentorship is getting your child together in the aspects of their life that matter. As it relates to her saying, I said what I said, I have a problem when the elders get rooted and I said what I said and don't want to hold themselves accountable for what they said. Because even if she doesn't like Melody or she has a problem with Melody, it's not about how she feels about Melody. It's about the reality that her daughter is in business with this show, and by it, Melody's either a coworker or a friend, and what you said affects your child and affects how your child has to navigate this terrain. So I'm not well aligned with I said what I said as it relates to something like that, nor am I well aligned with someone who's like, I'm you know what? That's not true. I am unapologetic in any way that I show up in this world. But before I show up in this world, I try to think about all aspects of what I'm doing, so that on top of being unapologetic is something I can be proud of standing firmly rooted in. So even though she's like, I'm fighting for my child and I'm going to do that, if you're fighting for your child and you're hurting your child and you're hitting your child with the blows as well, then that's not a fight that I'd be proud of.
Right. I agree with you. Why is everybody so quiet? I know Goody is giving us all the good points, but nah, say something.
I'm trying to think what else was interesting in this episode. Oh, okay.
The trap phone. The trap phone was hilarious.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about calling everybody, but can't nobody have her number? Like, that's all I'm like, okay, if you want to keep your whole life a secret, why are you on TV? But what do you all think?
I didn't like that.
She's shady. She's messy. That's how Melody is.
But what I will say that was funny, that I liked the way they, not so much the editing, but just how it went. Like when she called Martell and Stormy, everybody was like, who? I was like, oh, rewind.
What is this prayer?
I wanted somebody to be like Melody who. That's why I want her to say so she could be like, it's Melody Cherie.
Yeah.
So
what is this prayer about?
So I think what we didn't see or what we don't get is she feels like somehow her line was compromised. She said it in the reunion last year. She believes that Martell has been doing something to her line in an effort to find out what her business is so that he could use it against her. They are in court for their children. So his goal.
Right. So why can't Stormy have her number?
As per her, because she did do an interview with Carlos King and she did post about it afterwards. And it may not be 100% true. It may just be what she's saying, camera facing. But as per her, she doesn't know how her line was compromised and she doesn't know how things were leaving her home. But she said it even before last season. She said, and that's where she kind of was giving Destiny the side eye, because she was saying there are things that I have said in confidence that Martell has called me and said, and I know I haven't spoken to him because I have not had any contact with him whatsoever. So I think from her perspective, she either thinks that there was somebody in production who was bringing information from her home back, or even tapping her lines, because I think what happens with these reality shows is everyone gets their own production team, someone who's going to be with them all day. And she didn't know if it was production who was messing with her line, but she did know somebody tapped her line, and she did file a police report.
Girl, I didn't even know that flip phones existed. She had a flip phone. I'm like, where did she get that from?
You could get a flip phone down to Family Dollar. You could get a flip phone down to the Walmart. But what happens is she doesn't feel safe, and she said that she changed her number, and this isn't the first time we've heard that she had to change her number, Martell related. She's been changing her number since I think season 3. So she changed her number. She didn't give it to anyone, and it was funny for her to be calling the people on the flip phone. I thought that a flip burn a phone like she was down to the bando. I thought that was funny. I also thought it wasn't necessary for her to reach out to them on the phone. The same way, like Stormy's issue with her was like, I ain't finna DM you. But I have seen women who have been in abusive relationships. That's another thing. We do not know how deep the abuse was within her marriage. We have no idea.
I agree with that. However, kind of like with
You're on a reality show.
With Ava on Housewives, I'm kind of like, if you not trying to say what people want to do or whatever, but if you really on the run, I don't need you to be on the run with cameras, like for real. So that's the part where I'm kind of like, okay.
Sometimes being in front of the camera might be the best thing, though. Like,
well, yeah, but I'm like, don't play it both, because don't be out here for exposure and then be like, but everything has to be private because of this. Because then I'm like, this is a different show, and if it's not scripted, then I want you to go and get help and be real. But I don't want you to be out here like, oh, okay, but I'm also going to be, doing promotions and stuff. But I'm on the run. So
I was live tweeting when this whole thing with the trap phone was happening, and some women who have been in abusive situations where they didn't feel safe. This one woman said, I change my number 20 times a year, and people who really want to contact me know to hit me on a DM, because that's the only way they could really do it. The thing here is people didn't know that, and Melody should have, if she wanted to maintain contact with certain individuals, she could have reached out to them on the DM and said, hey, I don't feel safe right now. This is not personal. If you do need to reach me, this is how you can reach me. Well, other than that, there is no way to reach me. So it's a lack of communication on her part that I think causes her issues. But at the same time, the way I move in this world, if I say I'm doing something and I don't feel like doing that, I'm not doing it, and I'm unapologetic in that. And if you feel a way about it, I'm sorry, that's how you feel. So I can see both sides. I think it was a little bit shady, but it was the kind of shade that I thought was funny as an outsider. As an outsider, I'm laughing. If it was my friend, I'd be like, oh, that's whack. And then there's the whole reality of Stormy herself said they were not friends like that. Stormy herself said that the other people that Mel, like Leticia, who Mel has disconnected from in the past, if I've disconnected from Leticia in the past in this manner, and there was nothing wrong between Leticia and I, and you admit that you're not as close to me as Leticia was, I don't see what your issue is. Because I think her taking a break is just like the group vacation that shows make us endure.
Where is Kamisha?
Kamisha, are you there? Kamisha, have you gone back and watched episode 1? Is that
she made me even taking a nap. She left us here talking.
I'm like, Kamisha, did you go all the way back, girl? You don't need it. I am here to tell you, you don't need it. Because they talk about things that happen a million times, so you don't need to know.
Where is she though?
I know, right? Kamisha's like, I'm over this.
Well, let's have a different discussion. I'm curious, Maude, because you said that you believe Melody to be evil. What are your thoughts on the fact that it doesn't seem like Tisha, somehow in this season, Tisha doesn't think she's too evil to sit down with and try to work with closely?
Wait, say that one more time.
Tisha in this season will be bringing Melody to the table to do the comeback group again.
Yeah.
They will be sitting down. If Tisha actually thought she was evil,
I can still do business with evil people because I'm more about the bag.
Not somebody who walks with God. You ain't gonna find me doing business with evil people.
But you can say, I can say all things I can say bad about Melody, but I know she's a very good business lady. Like she does. She's good. And so, Maybe
All I know about Melody is that she's pretty and she's about her coin.
yeah,
All I know about Leticia is that she's pretty, she's about her education, and she's about her family. I
yeah,
know the same. That's what I know about these people.
right.
What they show, everything else they show us is the things that clash with regard to what
But
they're
good,
doing.
wouldn't you like to see them? Because wouldn't you like to see the comeback group? I would love to see that. You know,
No,
yeah.
no, because no one I could never do business. I could never sit with people who intentionally came at me together.
But you know, at this point, I think Goody, because the two of them have said bad things about each other. I think it's time. It's sixth
Yeah, but
season.
it is sixth season, and she did the interview with Carlos, and Carlos came to her and said, "Melody, what's up? Where's your light at?" And she said, "Carlos, why would I have a light when I have sat down and had a season of 10 people coming at me religiously from all angles? Why would I have a light?" And he asked her to give it another try.
Mm.
She said, "I can do that for the show." That's her perspective. Carlos, I'm sure, will sit with Leticia and get her perspective later on in the season. So she's willing to do what I ain't finna do because it wouldn't be me.
Mm. Are you talking about Carol's last
King.
night interview that she did with Melody?
Yes.
Oh.
Where we found out that not only did Melody did pitch all these people to the show, but not because she wanted to, because they asked her to.
Mm.
The only people she pitched was what they say Kimmy calls the core six, and it seems to me that Kimmy don't really mess with the rest of them heavy like that. She's like, when they say who do you want to talk to, the core six.
Right, I agree. We wait and see, because it looks like Kimmy also is developing a relationship with Melody, you know, a closer one. I don't know how that's gonna affect the group. It's gonna affect Tisha, but I like Kimmy. She doesn't take sides. Even if it's your friend and somebody is in the wrong, she'll tell you, no, that was not right. So that's what I like about Kimmy.
So let's talk about why Leticia wore red to the all pink party.
Oh, very ghetto. And
what?
That was ghetto. Why would you do that?
Why did she do that? Because I was confused,
I think
honestly.
I understand why she did it. At this stage of the game, I think she's trying to figure out how Melody ended up planning this party for her sister.
Well, why would she wear red? I'm still why wear red? Like, you're mad? Like, why is she wearing red? I'm confused.
Like, that makes no fucking sense.
Why is she wearing red with a pink scarf? I don't understand it. I'm like just trying to make sense.
I'm sure it is that the sorority colors, because isn't she an AKA? Isn't it red and green?
Yeah,
no. It's pink and green.
Sorry, pink and green.
And red
pink
and white.
Green, yeah.
So she's not a Delta, and pink and red is not nobody's colors. So I'm not sure why she's
I never saw pink and red.
Pink and red.
But she dresses good, though. She dresses good.
Yeah, but
outside of this particular episode, I would agree. I don't know what was going on there.
I think Tisha's a baddie, but Tisha also got bad mind sometimes, and I think that she wore this in rebellion to the fact that she was not the one who planned, or that Melody could be considered to plan. And it would be interesting also because, what's the devil's color?
I don't understand. I mean, they specifically said wear pink, and she put on a fucking pink scarf with her.
I doubt that she even had that pink scarf. I think that her husband probably made her go pick that pink scarf up so that she would be well aligned with the theme. Because he was
partially aligned. So I was kind of like, girl, who are you protesting? Get a sign and march outside, but just wear the pink once you get up in here. Like, I found it trifling.
It's trifling, and I also think it's interesting that because Marceau don't strike me as a pink man, right? He don't strike me as that dude who gonna be like, oh, I could put pink in my outfits, right? So
yeah, but you're coming to a vet for someone who survived breast cancer. # that color is pink. Like, we all know that. So what are you doing? And
I think it was rebellion. I also think it was cool that Maurice got to the point where he understood that why Kimmy needed the the party.
But
Why
also, I
she needed
think
to celebrate.
Maurice, what was interesting about that too was I think Maurice's plan or his point also wasn't necessarily like, no, don't party because you have all these other things going on. It was also, no, don't plan the party. So the good compromise was, okay, if Melody or someone else does the planning and you don't have that stress on you because you still have your health to think about, then we can still have the best of both worlds. And I think that is because I think that's valid. It's like, okay, it's one thing to say you want to celebrate. It's another thing to say you're actually going to plan the celebration and you just recovered from, you just got through with chemo. So I do feel like this was a good class.
A whole other component of that is the reality that putting that group of people together in the same room has been stressful in the past, and I don't think he wanted his wife around all those people at the same time, if you ask me. So kudos.
And also, like Kimmy, was kind of cute to see Kimmy and Melody do the sort of role play, and it was very accurate because that's exactly how Stormy talked to her. Well, I'll be happy to go to this for Kimmy. So it was like almost an exact quote. And then, and I loved Tisha and Melody's call because I love when Melody was like, hey, it's Mel. And then there's like 5 minutes of silence or whatever.
Which is exactly what her and Kim practice.
And that's exactly what I would do because some people are trifling and I'm just going to sit on this phone in quiet till you answer because you heard me the first time. So I love that. That was a point for Melody. And Melody did keep it clean and nice with everyone. And she didn't have to tell, or they didn't show it if she did, but she didn't have to tell people like, look, I want you to not be shady or whatever. So she made it through and she invited everyone. And I thought that was interesting. And then I guess, what did you all, I don't know if we touched on it, but Alicia, let's get to your, because I haven't heard too much from you today. What are your thoughts about this whole thing about Martell about, okay, we're going to pray at 10 p.m. that are we praying to get back to, he says we're praying to be better co-parents, but it seems like he's saying we're praying to get back together. And, meanwhile, like I'm calling, I'm Skyping Sheree.
That's a game they play. That's a game they play. Everyone is saying, oh, yeah, I know you want me. Oh, no, I know you want me. Oh, no, I don't want you. They've had that argument.
What do you think, Alicia?
Yeah, what do you think about this whole prayer and him harping on it? Like, I know he wants her back, but I'm like, dude, I don't know, get her back another way without like sweating so much. But what are your thoughts, Elise?
I mean, well, you're not trying to get nobody back if you dating Little Miss Joggers.
Exactly. If you're dating Shein by Sheree, then why are you here trying to get your family back in the same cut with your mama? It's like, what? So yeah.
I want to revisit a few things, but with regard to the prayer, again, I was live tweeting and people were like, he didn't even say he want to get back with you. You just think he wants to get back with you. Martell does this thing, and I'm not sure if I can recognize it because I am also a Capricorn, but he does this thing where he gets very ambiguous when he's trying to get back with Mel. What about that prayer? Wait, no, he didn't even say that. He said, what about what I talked to you about last night? Which is ambiguous and it is suspect. Anyone hearing that thinks that they had a different kind of discussion last night, right? If he meant, what about us praying to be good co-parents? If that's what he meant, that's what he would have said. And she could not have disagreed with that. If I said to you, let's pray to be better co-parent, she's not going to say no to that.
Yeah, so it's very unclear because when he was talking to Melody, he just kept saying prayer, prayer, prayer. When he was talking to his mom, he was like, well, I told her we should pray, or maybe it was a confession, I don't remember. But at some point he was saying it was a prayer for co-parenting, and she seems to be under the impression that it's a prayer to get back together. Either way, it's like, I think she could have just been straight up. I know he's irritating and just be like, dude, I'm not praying. So he could stop asking. Because I'm like, don't keep
But
asking.
then she shouldn't have offered it. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Just tell him off the top I wasn't going to pray because she had never had an intention to pray. So I was like, why you even tell him that? So
I think she's tired of fighting with him and she knows what happens when he doesn't get his way. So I think in a way she's still pacifying him because we've seen a Martell tantrum. As a matter of fact, what we saw when they had that big blow up at the end of last year around the holidays, what we saw then could all be a build up to that, right? There's that, but there's also stop trying to pray with me. Melody, this is another thing where I'm unbiased here and I'm going to call it like I see it. Melody wants us to know he keeps trying to get back with me. If I was this cheating ass woman, if I was this dark soul that he has told the world that I am and other people have adopted, if I was all of these things, why does he still want me? Why won't he let me go? I think Melody needs to let that alone. We saw it last season when they were at the beach and she was like, why you keep sending me all these pictures trying to get back with me? He never said he didn't do it. He just disengaged in the discussion. In this instance, in the wrong setting where they should have been celebrating Kimmy's success, he wants to discuss the prayer. People who manipulate have a tendency to try to put you in a corner in a situation where they know you're not going to turn up. He thought what he was going to get was Melody's compliance because she wasn't going to cause a fuss in front of Kimmy nor in front of Kimmy's people. And then when she didn't want to do that, I don't know, I didn't see it because I was at a family function last night, but then he tries to walk her to her car and she's like, nah, I'm good. Did that happen last night or is that next week?
Lee.
I don't remember that part.
I don't remember that part either. Lee
So that's next week because it was in the trailer.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
No,
Okay,
the, ending
okay.
scene, the ending scene for this episode was them at that ghetto Top Golf.
Yeah, that was bad. But since we're talking about Martell, what did y'all think about when he was telling his mom, I'm in counseling because there is something deeper going on with me? And his mom was like, no, you're fine. Melody just needs to be a better woman and woman up. What did you think about that?
Oh,
Did
that's
she say
typical.
that? Did she say that Melody wants me to be a better woman?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. Or not a better woman, a woman.
Mm-hmm.
That's
well,
what she
I think to some extent, I do agree with her in that Melody should not be talking negatively about the kids and having the kids sing that song and stuff. I agree with that. You know what I'm saying? I do agree with that because that is their dad or whatever. Like, even if your dad is a serial killer, like, you need to deal with that on your own. I don't think it's your mother's place to do whatever.
What's happening?
That's not me.
Sorry, that was me turning the shower on.
Oh.
Somebody gonna talking about going to brunch at 12 o'clock. It's 11:35.
Get clean, girl. Okay. But I just think like Martell, like that's just his mom being Team Martell, which she's always been from every team.
Yeah,
Ever since I've seen her, that's just how she does. Yeah, that's how your mom is. Like that's how Jeffrey Dahmer's mom is. Like that's how your mom is.
You know, I'm not
you.
like
You're
this.
great.
I'm not like this. My son's 26.
Well, no, my mama's not like that. But Mama Martell babies her son, which is why he feel
entitled.
And from it, I was getting ready to say like he's God. He can get away with everything. I can do whatever the F I want to do whenever I want to do it, and y'all gonna do whatever I want y'all to do when I want y'all to do it. Which is why when he was at the ghetto Top Golf, he walked up to Mel saying, "Well, what about this prayer?" Well, how about you get the fuck out of my face? Because this ain't the time or the place. But his mom is the reason why he feels that he can do that.
Yeah, so that's exactly.
I dated a Martell, so I know.
Yeah, not gonna say the monster, but that is what you get when you raise children that way. Like, I don't have kids, but I've seen grown adults, and this is how they look. So
was like that.
Yeah, so I mean, definitely, if you have, because what she said, oh, what's wrong with you? Yeah, you have a whole side baby, so that's what would be wrong with him. And as you told him in that same episode, you had a beautiful family and you effed it up. So that's what's wrong with him, and that's why he's in therapy.
I think what she's going to find out, or what she might fear, is the reality that she might be at the root of some of his issues.
Well, then if that's the case, then they need to go to therapy or counseling together. So
they got to find that out first, though, right? He has to, especially because what we have been told is that the therapy between Mel, well, the therapy he's in is in conjunction with Mel's therapist because the goal is for them to be better co-parents. Since parenting is going to be the core of why he's in therapy, his mother's going to end up in that chair with him if he stays the course, because his mother's going to be at the root. His mother not telling him when he's wrong, his mother telling him that he is perfect is going to be at the root
Very ghetto. Very
of
ghetto.
his issues.
Yeah, and it's very old school because I know, like, I don't want to say it's a north-south thing, but I do think that whole idea of, you know, some people, wherever you are, the whole stand by your man, even if they cheat. Like, I definitely, like, I went to
No, I ain't
school.
doing that.
I went to school in Jackson, and I definitely went to school with people where, like, yeah, you know, I'm the child that was in the marriage, and there's a whole set of kids on the other side of town, and some of
Or
us have
down
the
the
same
block.
names, and we the same age. Well, I think what you want. So it's, you know, I mean, there's a lot of different places where some things are more accepted, and over time, people change. So I think that Martell's mother has never kind of understood, I guess, why Melody won't get over it. And it's like, okay, you know, I know you love your son, but you got to, I don't know, she needs to just, she could be more mellow, but that's how she's been consistent. I'll give her that. She hasn't really changed, and she's been able to actually be cool when she sees Melody. So it's like, all right, you know. So
Ahmad, what is your perspective? Because I know you are the mother to boys as well.
Yeah, I did not. I would have said the same. I mean, there's nothing wrong with you, but if you feel like you need therapy, you know, I'm here to support you. But don't do it because of other people. Don't do it because of Mary. Do it because of you. But to be a better person, a better dad, because you cannot control situation over outside over there. You know, you cannot make Melody become a. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but this is my thing, Ma. We are watching this man's life implode. And we've been watching it implode, and Melody hasn't really been a part of the equation. There's something wrong there. There's something wrong when he has these spin outs, right?
that's true. But I mean, Maud has a good point in that, not saying it's nothing wrong, but I guess, which I didn't think about till she said it, what is your motivation behind it? Are you doing it because you want to get Melody and your family back? Or are you doing it because you genuinely think you have an issue? And I'm not sure, because he's sort of, I'm not gonna say narcissistic, but he got his own ego going on. So so I do think that's a valid point to be made, in that if your motivation is, and there have been times, I think maybe when they were in Florida, there have been times where I've seen where he's kind of having some insight into himself and trying to improve. So I have seen some glimpses of that, but it's like, you need to improve for you and all 5 of your kids, and, you know, and moving forward, and whoever you decide to be with, and not like, I'm going to improve as a way to get my family back.
Well, I would say that the motivation is definitely something that should be focused on, but he should also focus on saying things like, I want to propose by the end of the year. And without really looking at how he took his life from being a multimillionaire to whatever it is now. I don't know the man's pockets, but I know he had a very strong foundation. And for whatever reason, he picked it apart brick by brick. So, even if this were my son, I would really be sitting with him like, I don't know why you're going to therapy, but a suggestion for why you should be going is to find out why you're doing the things you've done. And to find out like what caused it and how you can stop, so you can start rebuilding your life in a way that is impactful for both you and your kids.
Yeah, but you do remember him saying because he was not raised by his dad, that also affected him. Remember when he was in
him
therapy?
Not being raised by his dad, him not being able to, him being picked on as a child and not being able to go home and tell his mom, hey, this happened to me at school, because his mom would think that was weak. His even down to maybe the way his mom may have chastised him. And I don't fault the mom for it, because it's not easy to do all of the parenting by yourself. But
Right. Yeah.
if I were watching my son's life implode, which is what we're seeing, I'd never tell him that he was okay and perfect and that he didn't need any therapy. I'd be like, dude, I don't know why you want to go to therapy, but I support your efforts, whatever your efforts are.
I agree with that. We see also, I don't know, but they put it out. We never saw it, but I think we're gonna see it at some point, where Marceau is bringing in somebody into the business without even telling the wife.
I mean, that's going to be a whole discussion that we can have with regard
Right.
to how, like, with regard to some of the things. What's eating Tisha, Scott?
Yeah.
That's going to be a whole discussion we can have, because and this is as an aside. I was watching a brain doctor talk about how Alzheimer's and dementia is something that women will come to quicker. And one of the key reasons women get there quicker, especially married women, is that the amount of time you feel disrespected is directly linked to a chemical in your brain being lowered. I think it's serotonin. And if you continuously have a low level of serotonin, I don't know if I'm saying it right, I believe I am though, your risk of having dementia or Alzheimer's increases, right? So that's disrespectful, and Marceau has been blatantly disrespectful throughout this whole program.
Right.
But we can address that as it comes up. And I ain't finna have no Alzheimer's because of that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be interesting to see, like, every season, it's always some sort of thing with them. And she's so ride or die. She likes to always make it seem like it's me and Marceau against the world, when really, like, okay, look, he needs to explain why his back is in this photo or whatever. It's like he needs to give you some explanations off camera or something. We ain't got to see it necessarily, although, again, this is reality TV, so we should, but he do need to explain something. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be interesting, I think, this season to see, especially because we learned last season that maybe in one of their businesses she owned 51%, or she had the majority interest or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see how he is kind of not treating her as an equal in business. So that'll be interesting to see how she does handle that sort of issue. So I think that'll be interesting to watch.
It's interesting to watch, but I would love for him, like, Maurice is challenging him and Martell is challenging him. Like, dude, do you even respect your wife? Courtney challenged him last season. Like, me and my wife is 50-50 on everything, and I like it that way. Meanwhile, Marceau is like, I wish she would stay home.
Right.
Yeah.
No, if he's gonna do that to Tisha, I'm not gonna be here for it. Like, enough of this now,
But at a point in time, it has to be.
And he's always having a reason as to why he's doing things. Like,
at a point in time, what I do think I appreciate is in the scenes that we saw in the trailer, Tisha didn't seem to be crying when she was saying to him, "Hey, you need to respect me," and I don't. She didn't seem to be crying.
Good. Yes.
It would have been a tearful plea. Now, this
I think we need to see Tisha finally check him, and hopefully this will be the season. I'm praying for you, Tisha. Please get the guts to do it.
I'm praying for you, Tisha. But bigger than that, you said earlier that one of the issues between Melody and Leticia is that it seemed that Melody wanted Leticia to leave her husband, right? You cannot want spiritually, mentally, physically. You cannot want for something they're not ready to get into. I think what we're about to see now is Leticia be in that disgruntled place that we met Melody in, because there's absolutely no way that he should be having somebody put up a plaque in their office of their building, of their business, and she has no idea who this person is.
I thought that was weird.
Yeah, that's very strange. And I will say this because I don't want to go all the way. I don't want to go back down these old season paths.
Yeah.
But I don't think, and that's my thing. I don't think Melody wanted to break up their marriage. I think Melody was like, okay, sweetie, you know that, when Martell, when they all go to with the linebackers or whatever they doing, he ain't doing it solo. So check yourself. So I think it was more that in opposed to, I want you to leave the way I left. No, she was like, okay, I want you to be real, and this is what your situation is. So don't be speaking on me when you know your husband is doing blah, blah, blah. So I don't think she necessarily wanted Tisha to make her choice, but she was like, you're not gonna be out here faking the funk like your husband is great and he's in the same, slime pot with my husband, which I think is different than expecting her to handle it differently. I think whatever's going on, Tisha has chosen to be ride or die, and hopefully maybe they're talking about it behind closed doors or outside of cameras or whatever. But so that's why when Tisha's like, oh, you're evil, and I'm like, okay, I don't think she's evil. I think she's just trying to, check you. But I don't necessarily think that Melody's goal is like, oh, I want them to break up. Like, I don't even think she cared that much. But I think she's just saying, look, you're not gonna be out here acting like, you've made a different choice than me. You decided to be with him, but don't act like he, like your relationship is so, roses and, basically whatever.
I think it also says a lot. And I'm gonna go back to the trailer. Your girl Tisha up in the boxing ring. She's boxing. She's trying to get out aggression. I think that Tisha's gonna be a force to be reckoned with this season.
Mm-hmm. And I hope so, because I'm tired.
She's the most educated among the cast. She's the most educated girl there.
Yeah, but we all know. Now we all know,
book smarts and street smart.
Common sense. We all know that. Books ain't the same. But it's nice to see that she's growing out of her own. I do like, from what I've seen of her, because I don't think most of the seasons I watched, I think she was already working. But I do like the fact that she went from the stay-at-home mom. I do like her progression of her character outside of this one issue with Marceau, which she has not been able to grapple with each season. So hopefully this will be the season she can kind of really go toe to toe to him with like, okay, look, we are partners in this, so you need to straighten up and fly right.
She actually owns more shares. Like she's I think 51% of the or something like this in that business.
That's paperwork, because if I own 51 shares or something and you go put in a plaque up, you will see how fast that plaque come down and hit. I'm hitting you in your head with the plaque, because we're not doing this.
Exactly. And I loved when she was like, yeah, Martell is cool, but I don't know if I want to do business with him. Yes, check it, boo. Yeah. Because I own the largest percentage. So I'm going to say no to that.
And it's funny because, when Mattel was coming back to the business, and he talked to Marceau, and the Marceau said, you know what, I'm going to go back to Tisha and talk to Tisha about it. So why did you talk to Tisha about the man who's hanging their diploma and degree on the wall prior to them doing this?
He didn't want Martell in his business because he knows that Martell is bad for business. As a matter of fact, he said Martell was bad for business, and he's watched Martell tank his business the same way we all have. So I think, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, to answer to your thing, Mod, and maybe this is where Goody is going with it. He wanted Tisha to be the bad guy because he likes Martell and he want to smile on Martell's face. So he's going to have Tisha.
That's a good point.
He's going to have Tisha be like, nah, I want to work with him. And so then he can still like go have drinks at Black or whatever they're going to do. So, but at the end of the day, if he really we're going to see this season how far his respect really goes, which I think has been an issue from ever since I've been watching. So.
Right. I think it's a Scott Man issue. I think that the Scott men are going to be forced to deal with that. I think Maurice has already had to start dealing with what they were raised to deem as respect for their spouses. Right. Because it's not lost that he had all this pressure on Kimmy to do this, to clean the house for him and three men, right? Well, him and three males, and still be like the sexy siren. And then it turns out that all of this pressure all this pressure in conjunction with a series of things could be the reason why she ended up in the position she was in. That was what he had to deal with. God is funny. You will deal with what you have to deal with when it's time for you to deal with it. It's my hope that Marceau has to deal with the reality that his wife is not going to be disrespected anymore. Period.
I agree. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Again, I appreciate that she wasn't crying. She wasn't crying to him like, "Why didn't you tell me?" That's Leticia we would have seen a few seasons ago. She was like, "Check this out. I don't want to hear nothing about our business from other people.
Yes.
Ever again."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, sometimes men
You have to respect that. Yeah.
Sometimes men don't realize how our evolution and when our throat chakras start to open up and we start to really get in our bag and we start understanding what we will and won't deal with. A woman in her power is a funny thing.
And Goody, it's also, I think being so used to this kind and now starting to create new boundaries, there's a lot of resistance that you're going to get from your partner, right? And I feel like we have watched that. We have watched Tisha trying to create new boundaries, right?
Correct. And
when it comes to whether it's their marriage or it's their business.
We seen her commanding her respect at that table across from her husband, and we see her down to the boxing gym. It's gonna be an interesting season.
Right. So what is Kamisha?
I think it's gonna be interesting. I have a question for
Shoot.
Kamisha, she was there for a moment, but
I'm here. I'm here, y'all.
Well, first of all, Kamisha let us know she was on that grill today, so I wouldn't be surprised if she over there eating succulent meats. Pause.
Oh yeah, this would be a good day for some lamb.
I got so much going on, y'all. Oh Lord Jesus. Yes, I will be grilling and going live to on the channel, grilling channel, by the way. But yeah, I'll be doing that today. That's my only.
And when is DC back? When do they come back?
I think next week.
They said next week.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay. I think. I'm not too sure. I think.
Okay.
Well, Goody and Erica, we know you have put a ring on it tonight. Goody, don't repeat the last Sunday's behavior.
I'm back in my bag, Maud. I'm at home. I ain't letting nobody take me out and make me drink liquor. I'm not drinking Jesus's wine today.
I'm about to.
I'm drinking too.
Yeah, Alicia, I knew when I looked at the time and saw that it was about to be 12 o'clock and I heard that shower water. I was like, my girl, get that good day drinking going.
I'm on my way to bottomless mimosa. That's
where I was last Sunday.
And Alicia, I know I'm going to be out in LA in June, so I definitely will touch bases with you. I think I'm going to be doing, or I should say I'm not going to think, I got to look. I'm doing Fresh Faces at the Lamh Factory, maybe the 25th or something. So I'll keep you posted.
You hear me?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You said which? Okay. First and foremost, which Lamh Factory? Because I actually
hear me.
Yeah, we can hear
yes.
you.
Oh, yes. Okay, y'all, give your final thoughts. We're about to end this. We'll be back again next Sunday.
Erica, stay. We're gonna talk backstage.
You are going in and out now, but yeah, I will.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you say?
Now we
y'all give your final thoughts.
Yes, now we can.
Okay, go ahead. Y'all final thoughts. I gotta get my grill started.
I cannot.
No.
It's gonna be an amazing season. I'm sure that me and Maud are gonna be going back and forth on. I'm sure, Kamisha. Sometimes I'll be sitting on my couch and Maud will be like, "Goody, I'm going live. Come," and then we get on that live and she be beating me up, but it's okay.
I'm sure I'm going to have half a cape like I always do, and I'm always in the middle. I do agree with Maud at least 50 to 60% of the time. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, all right. We're all gonna be Cape Crusaders in this joint. Looks like it here. That's okay. Y'all, this is the first episode. I've got to cook. I'm exhausted, but I'm going to sleep.
Hey guys, adios.
Hope I'm burning food up. All right, y'all have a happy Easter. Everybody's stuff information is all over my page. I'll make sure that their information is here for you guys to follow the ladies who pretty much just did. Who that? Bud? Wow, I'm gonna get her. All right. With that being said, and yeah, It's just love. Okay, that being said, y'all, we finna get off of here. I love y'all. I'll see y'all next time.